Yo, 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 it's your boy Bernard, aka the Scarlet Spider, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy and all the fandom that I saw this week. Brought it up last week, so I gotta bring it up again. The trailer for Venom: The Last Dance dropped, and I'm just like, can Sony please just give Marvel back Spider-Man, because at this point you're messing up the continuity of two different studios. So if you guys saw the trailer, you would notice that Chiwetel Ejiofor is in this movie, which I don't have a problem with because it's supposed to be taking place in its own universe. But for some dumb reason, they had the bartender, who is obviously in 616, who gives Tom Hardy the full breakdown of everything that's happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's in this trailer, and they go get the portion of the symbiote that is left behind by Eddie Brock when he gets transported back to his universe.
No!
So it's just like,
It's just dumb.
this is just dumb, and I'm glad this is the last movie of the franchise. I'm really over Sony and everything that they're doing, because it's just like, who is running the ship? Is Amy Pascal even still in charge, or is just like some idiot who's like, oh yeah, we're gonna tease this guy because he was at the end of the Venom movie and he was at the end of No Way Home, but he's also going to be in this movie, and it's just like,
You're so dumb. You are really dumb.
somebody
For
at Marvel
real.
should have just said, yo, y'all can't hire this guy, and literally put him in the same clothes, because Venom was in a different universe. But honestly, I can't wait for this crap to be over, because I'm over it. So yeah, Venom: The Last Dance will be dropping in October. I don't think they have a specific date just yet, but it's directed by Kelly Marcel. The screenplay is written by Kelly Marcel based off of a story by Tom Hardy and Kelly Marcel. And last time I checked, Kelly Marcel also wrote Venom: Let There Be Carnage. So that will let you know right there that this will be another dumpster fire.
It stinks.
All right. Speaking of dumpster fires, Bill Skarsgard was doing an interview, and he was talking about, The Crow. And he revealed that he's disappointed with how the new film ends, because he said it didn't feel like a definitive ending. He was talking to Esquire about it. He said, I personally prefer something more definitive. And just by him saying that, it just makes it seem like they're going to milk this franchise with one crow. And that's not how this works. So if you read a Crow comic, if you've seen any of the Crow movie, there's about 4 out there. There's The Crow, Crow City of Angels, Salvation, Wicked Prayer. I feel like there's another one in there somewhere. But the whole point of The Crow is a spirit of vengeance on some Ghost Rider stuff, on some Patrick Swayze and Ghost stuff, as I just watched. He has unfinished business. The whole point is to avenge the murders of him and, whoever is close to him. And in this case, if he does kill all the people who are responsible for him and Shelley's death, spoiler alert for a movie that is over 30 years old. If you didn't see it, that's not my problem. You should have watched it. It's on Max, I believe. So, yeah, if they just leave this movie open-ended with, the big bad getting away, it's just like, no. You can make the Crow franchise, but the Crow is basically an anthology. It's never the same person. That's the reason why a lot of people did not like the Stairway to Heaven show that came out after the movie with Mark Dacascos from Double Dragon and John Wick. Which one was he in? 3, I want to say. I think he was in Parabellum. But yeah, so there's only one Eric Draven story with The Crow, City of Angels, Salvation, and Wicked Prayer, each telling different stories of love and revenge. The Crow, City of Angels was meant to be a direct sequel with Sarah, who is the little girl from the first Crow movie. basically being like the guide for Ash. But I'm just like, y'all just already screwing up, and I already know this is going to go the way of Boy Kills World. It's going to bomb, and then it's just going to be available to rent or buy in like 2 weeks, like The Fall Guy, which was just bonkers. But I'm just like, I don't really care at this point. But it will be out on August 23rd of this year, and I will definitely let y'all know how it is, because I kind of got no choice but to watch it, because I put myself on this platform to talk about, things in geek and pop culture. So, a TV show that we are going to have to wait until next year for to return, and that is The Last of Us. So, we got some news on season 2 of The Last of Us, and you can kind of say it's a good news, bad news type situation, because we just know that it's supposed to arrive sometime in 2025. But the bad news is that it will be shorter than season 1, and that will have 7 episodes. But there's also good news that there will be a potential third season that will be significantly larger and possibly bigger in scope. And there could very well be a season 4 coming behind it, according to the showrunners, Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann. And they said one of the episodes in season 2 will be big in length. So I really can't say much about season 2 without spoiling season 2. So I wonder if they're just going to split the second game into 2 seasons, because there is no third game. We don't even know if we're getting a third game at this point. I mean, The Last of Us Part 2 came out 4 years ago, and I get it. There was a lot of space between the first one and Part 2. I mean, the first one came out on PS3, so that should already tell you something right there of how old the game is. I think it came out in like 2010. Was it a 10-year gap? Let's look this up real quick. The Last of Us. And I hate how when you type in The Last of Us, the first thing that comes up is the TV show. So just screw the game that it was based off of. All right. Here we go. Naughty Dog. All right. The Last of Us. 2013. So 7 years. And hopefully we won't have to wait another 3 years for the third game, if there is going to be a third game. But yeah, so I mean, I got no problem with them shortening the season if it's going to lead to us getting a third season and possibly a fourth. I just don't want them to put in a bunch of filler like this is, Dragon Ball Z or something. I don't know what's going on with my head. I have a major headache. So if you're watching, yes, that was a can of Mountain Dew I just put on my eye.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Baja Blast to be specific. So yeah, I mean, when we get it, we get it. There's not really much you can do besides, wait patiently. Okay? Don't rush stuff. All right, I got some Marvel news for the week. We got some Captain America Brave New World stuff. And basically, it's not really much, but they have confirmed that there will be several scenes in Captain America Brave New World where Anthony Mackie will be wearing the suit that he wore at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So one of the big things was he was going to get a different suit. But I don't know, maybe he will get that suit later on in the film itself. Robert Downey Jr. also was on Actors on Actors on YouTube, on the Variety Magazine YouTube channel. And he was saying that he's surprisingly open-minded about the idea of returning to the MCU as Tony Stark. He said, "It's just crazily in my DNA. Probably the most like me character I've ever played, even though he's way more cooler than I am. I've become surprisingly open-minded to the idea. It really is crazy because we look pretty good. I was actually looking at the stills, and we were talking, making sure do we still look kind of okay, and I'm like, we look pretty good. So I don't know what, I guess he was looking at stills of like him as Tony Stark in previous films. But I'm like, you chose to left. I mean, you chose to leave, which is cool. But your character died. I mean, if Secret Wars does what it does and not necessarily resets the universe completely, but kind of give it like a little soft tap just to bring in like a few people, like it's supposed to do with Deadpool and everything. Cool. But I'm really starting to feel like Robert Downey Jr. wants to come back because that might have been the only thing that he's done that was like a consistent paycheck. And like a lot of stuff he's doing now isn't really hitting the way it should. Like nobody saw Doolittle. I'm gonna go to his filmography real quick. Like people saw Oppenheimer, but he wasn't the lead in that. He like won for like best supporting role. Let's go to his filmography. Like I said, I like Robert Downey Jr. But it's just like I'm just like, come on. Where's filmography? I need filmography, please. All right, here we go. 59 years old. Let's go to stuff past Infinity War. So, I mean, Endgame. So, he did Doolittle. That came out during the pandemic, so that did not make any money. I actually saw it in theaters. He did the documentary on his father, Senior. He did Oppenheimer, obviously. He's got, well, he's not even in the movie. He's executive producer of a movie called Play Dirty and TV shows. He's got a show coming out on HBO called The Sympathizer. So, I mean, it is what it is. He's done some EP stuff. Like he executive produced the Perry Mason show on HBO/Max and Sweet Tooth on Netflix, which they just dropped the low key, the final season with like no promotion whatsoever. I haven't seen any advertising for it at all. But yeah, I mean, yeah, come back, man. And also, you gotta think, like, the movies he did in between, like, Marvel stuff, did they really break bank? Like, I'm looking at The Judge. Budget between $45-50 million. Box office 84.4. So that is considered a bomb. You have to make at least double. So that movie had to make anywhere between 90 and $100 million. I think the only thing that was really profitable was the Sherlock Holmes movies, like Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. Very profitable. Budget of 125 million. Box office 543.8 million. Due date. Another profitable movie, $65 million. $211.8 million. That might be because of Zach Galifianakis, because that was like in between The Hangover. Okay. Like we said, the second Sherlock Holmes was profitable. I'm pretty sure the first one was as well. Yeah, $90 million budget, $524 million box office. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gotten the sequel. The Soloist, very good movie. This movie bombed. $60 million budget, $38.3 million. Him and Jamie Foxx were amazing in this movie. Check it out if you want a nice drama film based on a true story. All right. I'm not including Tropic Thunder because that basically came out like a month after Iron Man. Yeah, so it's just like, come on back, Robert. Come on back. And I actually have the runtime for Deadpool and Wolverine. And the runtime for that will be 2 hours and 7 minutes. And that includes credits. We also got a maybe it's the final teaser, but they just marketed it as Deadpool and Wolverine best friends because at the time of this recording, it's National Best Friends Day. And we got a teaser of possibly Lady Deadpool. They just showed like the legs down from like, the thighs to the feet. And they were very skinny legs. So everyone's like, maybe it's Lady Deadpool. I don't know. Maybe it's that version of Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds with like the long hair. I don't know. But check out the trailer on YouTube if you haven't already. And I think that's all the Marvel news that has come out. Yeah. So Amazon Prime has a new show coming out based off of the formerly titled YAKUZA series, which has now been retitled to Like a Dragon. That has been confirmed that will be dropping on Prime on October 24th. I'm trying to see how many episodes it has. It's probably going to be like maybe 8. Nope, that is a movie called Like a Dragon, which came out 14 years ago. So let's see if IGN can help the brother out. I tried to get into an offshoot of the Like a Dragon franchise, and that was Plain Judgment. The dubs was horrible, so I said I can't do this. And who knows if the show will be dubbed? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I'm not seeing a. Okay, so it's going to be 6 episodes, and they're going to release them in batches. So the first 3 will drop on October 25th, and the last 3 will drop on November 1st. And it is confirmed it will be subtitled with dub versions in over 30 languages. And the series story is set between 2 periods of 1995 and 2005, and it follows the life, childhood, friends, and the repercussions of the decisions of a fearsome and peerless YAKUZA warrior with a strong sense of justice, duty, and humanity. So, yeah, there's that. Don't know if I'm going to watch it. Probably not. I know what I said about having to watch stuff, but I can pick and choose. I mean, I didn't watch Fallout, but that's also because I am getting sick and tired of ads with Prime. How they just drop this crap on us. And speaking of streaming services just dropping crap on us, Max has increased their prices, if you didn't get the email, on the 4th of this month for the ad-free version. So if you were paying monthly, your price has gone from $15.99 to $16.99, and your annual has gone from $149 to $169.99. So at this point, it's just like, why are you guys increasing the ads because of inflation? I mean, if grocery stores can lower their prices due to the fact that we're borderline in a recession, you guys can halt on increasing the prices of your streaming services. But, I'm just a small man with a small podcast, but I'm just over. That's why I said streaming was a very bad idea. Everybody just needs to drop all their streaming and get cable. Call it a day. And speaking of calling a day, I am going to take a quick break. So here is a word from Dubby. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash or jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet into 8 or 12 ounces of water and stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal. It's all the important vitamins. Drink and go conquer a task. Use promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order at dubby.gg. All right, I'm back. So, a TV show that I will definitely be reviewing next week when it comes back. Well, it comes back next week, but I'll be reviewing it the week after. And that would be The Boys. So, and I just said I'm tired of Prime because of the ads, but it's The Boys. I mean, you can't not watch The Boys. But Eric Kripke was doing an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, and he was basically explaining that The Boys was always about Trumpism, and he said that season 4 storyline is about an unparalleled presidential election dovetailing with America's real life anxiety about 2024. And that was something of a happy accident. He said it's too odd to call it good luck, but sometimes it feels like we're in Satan's writer's room. He said that, noting that when he first pitched The Boys alongside Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg back in 2016, when Trump was like, he's not really getting the nomination, is he, guy? Then when Trump was actually elected, we had a metaphor that said more about the world currently. And suddenly we're telling a story about the intersection of celebrity and how social media and entertainment are used to sell fascism. We're right in the eye of the storm. And once we realized that, it just felt like an obligation to run in that direction as far as we could. And he said, if y'all don't want to watch anymore because you feel like, we're taking jabs at Trump and everything that's going on in the world. We don't care. Stop watching. And honestly, he said, I clearly have a perspective, and I'm not shy about putting that perspective in the show. Anyone who wants to call the show woke or whatever, that's okay. Go watch something else. But I'm certainly not going to pull any punches or apologize for what we're doing. Some people who watch it think Homelander is the hero. What do you say to that? That shows many things. Subtle isn't one of them. So if that's the message you're getting from it, I just throw up my hands. And he does have a valid point. So, I mean, some people look at Homelander as the hero. I mean, you saw how season 3 ended with Homelander literally murdering a guy in front of a crowd, and they just cheered him on. So, take with that, what have you. Like I said, season 4 will be debuting on the 13th. So that will be this coming Friday. Or this Friday by the time you guys get this episode. All right, what else do I have? Yeah, this. It took 6 years, but I think a movie nobody wanted is getting a sequel, and that is Batman Ninja. So, according to Crunchyroll, Yoichi Yamadera will reprise his role as Batman in Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League, with Junpei Mizuzuki returning to direct. Shinji Takagi will co-direct with a screenplay by Kazuki Nakashima and character designs from Takashi Okazaki. So apparently this movie was released with 2 different versions of the same film. The Japanese version was significantly different from the US version. So yeah, the journey, Batman takes a journey across the ages as Gorilla Grodd's time displacement machine transports many of Batman's worst enemies to feudal Japan along with the Dark Knight and his allies. So that was the plot of the first one. So they really haven't given a synopsis or anything on this Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League. It doesn't even have a release date, but we just know that it's set to be revealed during the Warner Brothers Japan Presents Suicide Squad Isekai panel at Anime Expo next month. Yeah, I mean, I tried to watch Batman Ninja. It wasn't for me. I mean, I just don't think I'm a fan of like when you try to blend an American property into an anime property. Like if it's like done completely different, like the Marvel stuff was amazing, like Wolverine, X-Men, and Iron Man. Those were fantastic. But like I said, I tried to watch this one and I just wasn't feeling it at all. But all right, guys, I think it's time for me to get into my reviews because I have 3 things to review this week. I got If, The Acolyte, and Doctor Who. Yeah. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into the reviews. Spoiler alert. We're going to get into the review of If. Like I said, when it comes to movies that are not released on streaming, I'm going to try to keep my reviews as vague as possible because I want you guys to go see these movies. All right, so the movie was written and directed by John Krasinski, stars Ryan Reynolds, Kaylee Fleming, John Krasinski, Lou Gossett Jr., Bradley Cooper. Who else was in this cast? Keegan-Michael P., Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Awkwafina, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Bill Hader, Richard Jenkins, Keegan-Michael Key, Blake Lively, Sebastian Maniscalco, Christopher Maloney, Matthew Rhys, Sam Rockwell, Maya Rudolph, Amy Schumer, Jon Stewart, and Brad Pitt. So the trailers for this film made it like really like vague as far as what was happening, because I was just like, what are we doing? So this is the synopsis from the website. From writer and director John Krasinski, If it's about a girl who discovers that she can see everyone's imaginary friends and what she does with that superpower as she embarks on a magical adventure to reconnect forgotten ifs with their kids. If stars Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Kelly Fleming, Fiona Shaw, and the voices of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr., and Steve Carell, alongside many as the wonderfully unique characters that reflect the incredible power of a child's imagination. So this movie was actually pretty amazing, in my opinion. It kind of hit me in the feels. I did get a little bit teared up in some parts of it. It was just good despite the ratings. Really wish more people would see this movie. I mean, it needs at least another it needs another $80 million to be profitable. The budget was $110 million. And the box office as of this moment is 145.3 worldwide. I mean, it's a nice, good family movie. Take your kids to go see it. Ryan Reynolds did a good job in this movie. Kaylee Fleming, who plays Bee, the young girl. Apparently she was from The Walking Dead. Oh, she was young Rey in Star Wars The Force Awakens. But yeah, I mean, she did a good job in this movie. She carried it. She carried it with Ryan Reynolds. Oh, she also played young Sylvie, so she's been around. But yeah, this was unfortunately, I believe, one of Louis Gossett Jr.'s final roles, if not his final role. As I told you guys earlier this year, I believe last month, I told you he passed away. I'm sorry, I told you in March he passed away. But yeah, he was the bear in the movie. But yeah, I mean, this movie was amazing, guys. Just go see it. Yeah, he's got 4 more movies left that are going to be released posthumously. Yeah, he provided the voice of Louis the Bear. But my only issue with it was this legit started off like a Pixar movie. Like, I really can't say it, but you know how Pixar movies start, specifically Up. So yeah, there's that. But it's a really good movie, y'all. Go see it. Please go see it. Okay, I would like to have someone to talk to about this movie. All right. All right. I think we're going to get into the review of the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of The Acolyte, created by Leslie Headland. She also directed the first 2 episodes and wrote the first episode. Jason Metcalf and Charmaine the Great wrote the second episode. Show stars Amanda. Crap, what is her name? Why did I just have a brain fart? What? Amanda Lestenberg. Good grief. Lee Jung-jae, Charlie Bartlett, Daphne King, Rebecca Henderson, Jodie Turner-Smith, Carrie-Ann Moss, Manny Jacinto, Charles Dean Chapman, and Junice Sutamo. All right. And remember, this show still takes place in the world of Star Wars, but it's in the High Republic. So this is 100 years before the prequels. So, where the Jedi oversee the Galactic Empire during a time of extended peace. And this peace is disrupted when a mysterious assassin kills Jedi Master Indara, who is played by Carrie-Ann Moss. So, Osha, who is a former Jedi Padawan who left the Order as a prime suspect in the murder and is taken in by Jedi Knight Yord and Padawan Jeki. On Coruscant, Jedi Master Soul is informed that a former Padawan of his, Osha, is a suspect in Indara's murder and is sent to retrieve her after a prison transport crash lands on a planet. And after Soul meets up with Yord and Jeki, he finds that and they find Osha, and it's revealed that Osha has a sister named May who is presumed dead. But unbeknownst to Soul, May is taken in by the Master, who is heavily replied to be the return of the Sith, and May's goal is to murder the 4 Jedi that she deems responsible for the death of her family. So Osha, Yord, and Jackie go to the planet Ogala to stop May from murdering Master Tobin, but they are unsuccessful and May escapes. So, I don't get the backlash on this show. People were complaining, oh, we need to get away from the Skywalkers and blah, 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 blah. But then we get away from the Skywalkers, and then everybody's like, oh my God, it's this. Why is a woman a lead? So on and so forth. Why are there black people in Star Wars? My only problem with this is I am sick and tired of black people since Black Panther having the Killmonger cut. Okay, the new Prince of Persia has it. Miles had it in Spider-Man 2. Yord has it in this. There's a character in another game that's coming out that has it. It's like, yo, can we get like some dreads or something? Like, we don't need the Killmonger swoop over or whatever. Can we just like change that? But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed these first 2 episodes. I got no complaints. Are my glasses broken? No, they're not. I'm tripping. But yeah, I mean, they hit us with a red herring, so they took Carrie Ann Moss out within like the first 15 minutes of the first episode. And I was like, wait, what? So we doing Ryan Phillippe and Big Sky and Drew Barrymore and Scream and who was that? Who else was that? I was just talking to somebody about this. Someone what character had a better 15? Oh, Eddie Griffin in Armageddon. It's just like, well, Eddie Griffin wasn't in the main credits of Armageddon, so he don't really count. But I was just like, yo, she dead? She dead. Okay, so I guess we're gonna get her in a few flashbacks, and that's it. But yeah, guys, this episode was amazing. I highly suggest the Acolyte. Watch it. Okay, that's all I can say is just watch it. It's good so far. Amanda Stenberg is on double duty. That was another twist that I did not see coming. They kept that one like tucked in the chamber for the longest. It's like, did not know she was going to be playing twins, but here she is on double duty role, playing Osha and May. My only problem, honestly, with the show, besides Charlie Bartlett's hair, they couldn't think of another name besides Osha, so the Occupational Safety and Hazard Association. So I really can't be the only one who thought of that. I really can't. Okay. But y'all please check out The Acolyte on Disney Plus. All right. Speaking of things on Disney Plus, it is time for the review of Dot and Bubble of this episode of Doctor Who. This one was good. This one gave me very Black Mirror vibes. So obviously Nishuti. Yes, his name is Nishuti. We've been saying his name wrong all this time. The N is actually pronounced, so it's not Shuti. That's why it's Nishuti. Returns as the 15th Doctor. Millie Gibson is in here as Ruby Sunday. Guest stars are Callie Cook as Lindy Pepperbean, Alita Lone as Mercy Cooper, Aladis Squire as Henry Tendency, Tom Reese Harries as Ricky September, and there's a few more people in here, but let's just get into it because the other people, they don't really matter per se because they're only in here for like 5 minutes. So this episode basically deals with like a lot of social media, elitism, and racism. So like I said, this episode felt like it was an episode of Black Mirror. So we follow Lindy Pepperbean, who is a elitist per se, who has this thing called a dot in a bubble, which is basically literally a floating dot, and it puts a bubble around her face. So it basically is a heads up display that allows her to talk to her friends. It's basically like VR on steroids. So she gets to see everything, like talk to her friends, and it literally navigates her around. So she doesn't have to actually use her eyes to get around, but she just one of her friends starts to tell her that, a few people are going missing and like they're offline or whatever. And so the doctor like hacks the dot to try to communicate with her, and she just like sends them off. Just like, who are you? Be gone. Blocked. And she goes to work, and they only work for 2 hours because they're rich kids. And Ruby comes in and says, "Hey, I'm doing work for Fine Time, which is the planet they live on." And she's like, "Hey, are you at work right now?" "Yeah." Who do you work with?" So on and so forth. And she's like, "Are they there now?" He's like, "Yeah, this guy sits to the left of me, this guy sits to the right of me, and 2 people sit up front." She's like, "Can you lower the bubble?" They're gone. And apparently giant slugs have been eating everyone. And like the doctor comes back in and tells her, you need to leave the office. And bro, I really hope we don't get to this point. Like, as a civilization, she can't even walk without the bubble telling her to go forward and whatnot. And she almost walked into one of the slugs. I'm just like, oh my God. And then Ricky September shows up. And he helps Lindy. And they have to get to like a bunker to get underground, where the doctor and Ruby are waiting to save them and, the rest of the people. And they find out that the slugs are killing people in alphabetical order. So they're slowly like getting through people in like 2 weeks. And like, they're going after Lindy, but they're on the ground. And the doctor seems to think that, you know what? Maybe the Dot has developed sentience and he is sick and tired of all you rich people's conversations, and it just tries to kill her. And bro, Lindy like sold Ricky September out. She was like, "Yo, his last name isn't even September, his last name is Coombs. Check the servers." And bro, she got him killed. And then like she met up with the doctor and Ruby and like a few of her friends that actually made it out. And keep in mind, these are rich kids, so they don't know like how to like forage for food or anything like that. And the doctor's like, if y'all go out there, you're gonna die. So come with me. I know my ship looks small, but it's bigger on the inside. And they're like, "Yeah, we appreciate you helping. We appreciate you helping us because that's what you were supposed to do. But nah, we can't go with you. We might get contaminated." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And like, bro, I've like seen the doctor like lose it, but like I've never seen him lose it like this. And this was like so far my favorite episode of this season. 73 yards, which was last week's episode, is like second. And we're still seeing that old lady who I keep telling you guys who has been in every single episode this season, because in this episode she was Lindy's mom. And in 73 yards, she was the lady who freaked out when the lady who was following Ruby told her something in her ear. So it's just like, who is this old lady? Because she's in a painting in the episode that I will be reviewing next week, which is titled Rogue. And she's showing up in the week after that. So we really got to get an explanation on this lady soon. But guys, I believe I'm going to call it a wrap. So this is your boy Bernard, aka the Scarlet Spider, and then that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and follow me everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok for now, at Angry Blerd Pod, all one word and no spaces. So next week I will be reviewing Rogue of Doctor Who, Bad Boys for Life. I might start reviewing My Adventures with Superman then, because I think we'll have like 4 episodes then. So possibly My Adventures with Superman. So I said Doctor Who, Bad Boys, My Adventures with Superman, possibly The Boys, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, The Acolyte. Duh, Bernard. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week. I'm tired. Leave me alone. Peace.